Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Ernie. Thanks for clicking on this video. It's all about great albums released in August of 2017. Hope you hear something you like. Here we go. So the first album I'm going to be talking about is by an artist named Amy O, and it's called Elastic. It's released August 4th on Windspear Records, and it's the Indiana-based band's sophomore release and their follow-up to the 2016 debut, Arrow. Everything for this band began in 2004 as a solo project of Amy Olsner. This may only be their second studio album, but a quick visit to their Bandcamp will show you that Amy has released a lot of music. And through those releases, you can hear her growth and how the adoption of multiple members has enhanced the sound of the band. On Elastic, we get a full record of well-crafted lo-fi tunes, which complement her singing style perfectly. Clocking in at just under 30 minutes, the album comes and goes really quickly, and honestly, that's my only complaint. When the music is this good, you really don't want it to stop. If you decide to check this record out, I'd suggest starting with the song Sunday Meal. Next, we have the band Widowspeak and their album Expect the Best. It was released August 25th through Captured Tracks, and it's the fourth studio release by Molly Hamilton and Company. I remember falling in love with this band when I heard the song Gun Shy off of their debut LP. The musicianship on that track is amazing, but it's really the vocals that drew me in. And on Expect the Best, the band lets Hamilton's singing take center stage. The album turns out to be 9 moody, dreamy, mellow tunes with Hamilton's introspective lyrics scattered across the record. Honestly, it's everything I wanted and could have hoped for from a new Widowspeak album. If you can only listen to one track off of this record, I'd suggest starting with the song Dog. The next album I have for you is called Safely Nobodies, and it's by the band Tall Friend, released August 11th on Exploding in Sound Recordings. It's a debut album by the band from Philadelphia, and right from the start, you get a taste of what's to come. Track 1 is a 30-second voicemail from lead singer/songwriter Charlie Pfaff's mother. In that voicemail, you hear her saying through tears that everything will be okay, and that she loves Pfaff. This emotional and personal opener sets the stage for the remainder of the LP. On Tall Friends Bandcamp, they say of the record, "This album is a documentation of me packing up and unboxing many, many years of hurt. For a very long time, I genuinely believed that I was alone in my circumstances. While I now know this to be untrue, I also know that there are people out there still feeling desolate and unsure of what tomorrow will bring. I hope that these songs will provide a little bit of solace for those somebodies living in glass houses." If you have 16 minutes to spare, and I'm not joking, the album really is 16 minutes, definitely give Safely Nobodies a listen. I'd recommend starting with the song Small Space. The next album I want to share with you is by Angelo de Augustine, and it's called Swim Inside the Moon. It's released August 19th through Asthmatic Kitty Records, and it's the second full-length release by the musician from Thousand Oaks, California. Recorded in his bathtub on a reel-to-reel recorder and one single mic, this album is a definition of DIY. If lo-fi is your thing, that rough around the edges sound is only going to serve to add charm to this record. The music is dreamy and imaginative, and the way it comes together with the vocal performance makes it easy to hear strokes of musicians like Sufjan Stevens and Elliott Smith, but Augustine likes to say that he found his sound on his own terms. And that's understandable because though there are many small parts of his sound that may reflect other artists, it's still very much his own. If you don't believe me, just give the album a listen. I'd recommend starting with the song Crazy, Stoned, and Gone. Moving on, we have the album Dark Gold by the band Soar, and it was out through Father-Daughter Records on August 25th, 2017. It's a debut release by the quartet from San Francisco, and one thing you'll notice is that the album sort of has a mixture of these different vibes, and that comes from the 4 musicians that make up the band sharing songwriting responsibilities as well as the mic. And it's sort of rare to see this kind of collaboration between band members, and it makes Dark Gold a really fun and unique listen. Mainly because you get a small taste of each of these individual artists within one record. If you're a fan of great vocal performances, lo-fi garage rock riffs, definitely seek out this record. And a great place to start is with the song Secret Santa. On August 25th, 2017, the artist Thanks for Coming released the album Missing Out on the label Disposable America. And it's one of the many releases by the prolific New York musician Rachel Brown. And like her previous releases, the music is understated, lo-fi, and she says on her Bandcamp, mostly sad and stupid and always recorded in her bedroom. And I disagree with the stupid part, but the rest actually does a great job of describing this record. The album's bedroom production adds a level of intimacy and closeness, and it's an intimacy that is only compounded by the nature of Brown's lyrics and her softly delivered vocal performance. If you're in the mood for a quiet, mellow record to lose yourself in, give Missing Out a listen. And if you can only listen to one track off of the record, check out Re. Next we have Jen Cloher with her self-titled release called Jen Cloher, out August 11th on none other than Milk Records. It's the fourth full-length release by the artist in her nearly 20-year career. Like many artists who don't release their self-titled album until later in their discography, Jen said that she feels that this album is the best representation of herself. The personal nature of the lyrics make this pretty obvious. She sings about what it's like growing up gay in elementary school, the struggles of being a musician in Australia, the large number of privileged white kids in indie rock and roll, and her relationship with none other than Courtney Barnett. The songs range from guitar-heavy rockers to slower numbers that make her voice the star of the track. If this is your first introduction to Jen Cloher, it's a great place to start. Because honestly, it was my first introduction to her, and since then I've gone through everything she's put out. Amazing musician. I hope you can go out and listen to her stuff, but if you can only listen to one song off of this LP, I'd recommend Sensory Memory. Next we have Beast Epic by Iron and Wine, released August 25th on Black Cricket Recording Company and Sub Pop Records. It's the sixth LP released by singer-songwriter Sam Beam of South Carolina under the Iron and Wine moniker, and it's his first since 2013's Ghost on Ghost. But I should mention that in between that, Beam did do some work releasing 2 collaborative albums with musicians Jessica Hoop and Ben Bridwell. If you're familiar with Beam's work, you'll know what you're in store for. There's nothing on this album that you wouldn't expect from an Iron and Wine LP. It's excellent acoustic guitar work, beautiful vocal performances, interesting and thought-provoking lyrics. It's just, all around, this is just an amazing folk album. 6 records in, and Iron and Wine is still going strong. If you've been a fan of theirs, you need to listen to this. You probably already have. And if you're not a fan of them, check this out. Give this a listen. If you can only listen to one track off of the record, I suggest Bitter Truth. Next we have the band Girl Ray, who released the album Earl Grey on August 4th through Moshi Moshi Records. It's the debut album by the all-woman trio from London, and the band began making music together in high school and had released their first single at the age of 16. Released while the band were still teenagers, it's amazing how mature of an album Girl Ray managed to create. The music is original, though there are moments where the band's influences do shine through. The vocals are unique, and the album at times can seem genreless. When so many musicians out there are following cookie-cutter molds and jumping on trends, it's sort of a breath of fresh air to see a group of young musicians really honestly trust themselves. Earl Grey is a great record that keeps listeners wondering what's going to happen next, and this anticipation makes the nearly 1-hour record listened really easily. I highly recommend checking out this LP, and I'd start with the track, Ghosty. This brings us to our 10th album. It's by the band Soccer Mommy, and it's called Collection, released August 4th on Fat Possum Recordings. And it's the prolific Bandcamper's first official full-length studio album. And unlike most of her Bandcamp releases before, with this one, Sophie Allison, the brain behind Soccer Mommy, was backed by a full band. Despite this change, those qualities that attracted fans to her music is still there. They may just sound a little different. This is most obvious on the handful of previously released songs that were reworked, re-recorded, and re-released on Collection. The album boasts a large jump in production value, but still retains enough of its lo-fi roots to please past listeners and appeal to a new, larger audience. Overall, this is a promising debut for the musician from Nashville, Tennessee, and definitely worth half an hour every time. I recommend starting off with the song Outworn. So that was 10 great albums released August of 2017. If you want to listen to any of the songs I mentioned, I have links to playlists to Vivity and Spotify in the description below, as well as some links to some social media if you'd like to follow me on there. As always, if there's something I should be listening to that I'm not, leave it in the comments below. Hope you liked the video. Catch you in the next one.